You're watching the Batter Fans Network.
Welcome everybody to episode number 35 of the Battle Heat Fans Podcast. I'm your host Daniel, and alongside me, as always, is Daniel Solana. How are you doing, sir?
Well, I'm doing a lot better than the Heat, Danny. I'll tell you that. 8 out of the last 10 they lost, and I don't know, man. I don't know. I know about a month ago I said this team was the best team in the East, and I've been eating my words ever since, unfortunately, and it's not feeling good, man. It's not feeling good.
Well, the mistake we made is that their role players were playing well above what they usually play, and we made the mistake of just assuming that they could keep it going for a full season. It was an aberration. Fontecchio, to me, has become unplayable. He's become unplayable. Watching him play, he's not good on either side of the ball. But at the beginning of the season, he was shooting almost 50%. And you're like, wow, what a discovery. How did we luck out with Fontecchio? We were here talking about Simone, what's it, Bonyate or whatever.
Cañate.
Yeah, like we were really excited. Like we thought that we had like struck gold. Drew Smith, although he's still playing okay. Like, everybody, Davion Mitchell, although I still think he's playing well. He was leading the league in assist to turnover ratios. Everybody was just playing absolutely amazing. Even Andrew Wiggins, I remember I was talking shit about him the first game or two, and then I said, "Oh, I ate my words." Now he's back to not playing that great. Like it's unfortunate that it's all come crashing down at the same time. On top of the fact that teams are scouting us, now they're kind of forcing us to shoot from the outside a little more. They're cutting off our initial first action. So like everything's just come it's all happened simultaneously, and because of that, it's hurt so much. Because man, losing 8 out of 10 is really really bad. Like imagine you don't get off to that hot start. Where are we right now? Like it's been really rough go.
Absolutely, man. And 5-10 out of Miami, unfortunately. Not a very good road team, this Heat team this year, unfortunately, which is very weird because usually the Heat are road warriors, right? The Heat are usually really good on the road. Historically, they've always been a very good road team, but this year, unfortunately, Danny, it doesn't look like they're going to be making that much noise away from the Kaseya Center. Man, last night was a really bad loss, and like we talked about off camera, I mean, I really hate losing to the Knicks.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, man, and it all started after Thanksgiving because on Thanksgiving, we were still feeling pretty hot. We were 13-6. We had just qualified for the NBA Cup. We had that Pistons game on Saturday night, which was a big game that we were talking about. And that's when that was 10 games ago. That's when the rough start happened. We lost to the Pistons. We beat the Clippers, and then we just started just nosediving. If it's not for the Brooklyn Nets, which I mean, it's the Brooklyn Nets, they're tanking. If it's not for them, we haven't won a game since December 1st. Luckily, the Nets ended up on the schedule. Which, by the way, the Heat, you know what? Give them a little credit for beating the Nets because the Nets beat the Bucks by like 50. They beat the Raptors, which beat us twice already over the last couple of weeks. They beat the Raptors last night. So, let's give them some credit. They beat the Nets in Brooklyn. But outside of that win against the Nets in Brooklyn, this 3-game road trip was was rough also, even though the winnable games in Boston and New York last night.
Absolutely, man. All the games that on this road trip are winnable. Obviously, they come up 1-2, losing against Boston when you had two guys drop 30 plus. Then last night you had Jalen Brunson dropping 47. Danny, I mean it's a lot of defensive issues for the Heat. Obviously, the Knicks shot 55% from the field, 53 from three. And 86% from the free throw line. A lot of really good numbers, and a lot of numbers where the Heat they just didn't. I don't know if it was an issue of the Heat not playing good defense, or if it was just the Knicks were just not going to miss any of those shots last night, especially Jalen Brunson, because whatever came out of his hands, it didn't matter where he was on the court. It just went in, and it was frustrating for the Heat.
And Josh Hart hit like a crazy, almost half court buzzer beat right before the shot clock ended. Like they were just hitting everything. But you know what? The thing is, if they're playing like that, you're like, damn, how are you going to beat them? But I think we shot better than like. Let me see,
No,
because
we
the
didn't
Heat
shoot
were. Oh
better than
no,
them.
no, we didn't shoot better than them, but we shot
He shot
49% from
49%.
three.
49% from three. Yeah, but the
Almost
Knicks
50% from three. I know, but they shot 53%.
and they made more than us. They made and that's the game. If you think about it, the Knicks went 20 for 38 from three. The Heat went 17 for 35. Those
that's 3 points right
those
there.
3 threes, that's 9 points. That makes the difference right there. They just made more threes than the Heat did.
I'm gonna tell you what I think is a really big difference, and it's been happening all season is free throw shooting. There was there was a point there where the Heat were down. I want to say I think it was 7, with a little over 2 minutes to go. I want to say Jaime Jaquez goes to the free throw line. He has a chance to cut it to 5 with like 2 minutes left. That's doable. We can still be in this game. He misses both free throws, and I remember I said this like a month ago. And this is when we were still riding the high. I said the only thing that I don't like about Jaime's game is that he's so aggressive. He gets to the rim so much. He's constantly at the free throw line, but he's not a consistent free throw shooter. I feel like we lose a lot of chances when he goes to the free throw line. Last night, he misses those 2 free throws. And yeah, like and subscribe. Thank you for that thumbs up. He misses those 2 free throws. We go from possibly being down 5 to still down 7. And then on the other end, we foul Jalen Brunson. He gets 3 points, and then we're down 10 all of a sudden when we could have been down 5. The free throw shooting has been a real hindrance for this team. But you know what? It's rough because when you look at this game overall, we even out-rebounded them. And to out-rebound the team that has Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns, they're one of the best rebounding teams, if not the best. I'd have to go statistically. I know at one point they were the best. Like, we out-rebounded them. Did we get more offensive rebounds than them? They got 4 offensive rebounds. We got 12 offensive rebounds. Like, when you look at just the stats, we should have won that game statistically. It looks like we had a great game. But you know what they had? They had a superstar. Not an all-star. They had a superstar. They have that guy that you give the ball to at the end of the game and can go win you the game. And he did it not just at the end of the game. He did it all game long. And we're missing that. We don't have that superstar. And when it comes to games like this, against Boston at the end of the game, against last night against the Knicks, like, you need that guy that you can get the ball to. And we don't have that guy right now.
No, we don't. We don't. But he's out there, Danny. He's out there. Giannis again.
Giannis isn't that guy either.
About it. He could be that guy. He could be that guy. But yeah, the Heat haven't had a player like that since since Jimmy Butler was on the team and he was having or he was still with his joy, right? He hadn't lost his joy yet, and that was the last time that the Heat had somebody who could take over in the fourth quarter. And since Jimmy Butler's losing his joy and his departure to the Warriors, unfortunately for the Heat, they don't have that go-to guy in the fourth quarter. They don't have that guy who can get you a bucket. And I know that Tyler Hero's nickname is bucket. I can get you a bucket, but he's out, man. He's out, and then his toe is hurting him, and we don't know what's going on. He's only played a few games this season. But the fact of the matter is that you're right, Danny. This team doesn't have a go-to guy to give the ball to in the fourth quarter who is going to close out the game for you. And that's a big, big, big issue on this Heat team.
Out of everybody on this roster, whether healthy or unhealthy, who is the guy that's the closest to getting you there, though? That you could be like, you know what? I think Tyler Hero.
Norman Powell.
I think Tyler Hero can get you more of a shot with the ball in his hand, creating for himself, than Norman Powell. I think Norman Powell is great, and I love Norman Powell. He's really surprised me. I thought that he would be good. I think he's better than what I thought. But I think he's more in a player within the system, off the ball. You give Tyler Hero the ball, and he can pound the hell out of it for like 20 seconds before he gets a shot off. I get it, but I think that he's more of that I'll get you a bucket if we need a bucket type of player. And and Norman Powell maybe could do that, but I think I trust Tyler Hero in that aspect a little more. But just real quick, just to the whole Giannis point. I know Giannis is great, and I think that if you have a chance to get him, you get him, right? Obviously. But do you think Giannis – I was looking back because I was thinking to myself, I know he had that NBA Finals run. And the only reason they won that Finals is because James Harden went down, Kyrie Irving went down after they got their ass kicked by 50 points in the first 2 games of that series. And then it was just Kevin Durant against Giannis, and his fat toe was on the line. Somehow Giannis makes it past that, ends up against the Atlanta Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals. No idea what the hell that team was doing in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they beat up on the Suns to win the finals. That happened. But outside of that, Giannis hasn't been able to get out of the first round, I think, since that. Like,
Yeah, but look at his
that guy.
team. Look at his team. His
He had
team is
Damian Lillard. He had Dame Lillard, no?
yeah, man. But Dame Lillard was hurt, and Dame Lillard didn't want to be there. And he had Chris Middleton, who was already an aging player, and he just
Okay.
didn't have. He hasn't been surrounded correctly. That front office, the Milwaukee front office, hasn't done a good job of surrounding Giannis, other than that one run. And of course, he had to go on a historic run to get them to to beat the Suns. But look, I think Giannis is that guy, Danny. I think he's a guy that can go out and get you a bucket when you need it, especially with his
I don't think so.
body. And look,
I've watched him a lot.
Team.
I've watched him a lot. And I'm telling you, during that NBA Finals run, when it was crunch time, they weren't giving the ball to Giannis. It was Chris Middleton that used to win them those games late in the fourth quarter. Like,
Yeah,
you can't give the ball to Giannis.
yeah.
Like, if imagine what you have to trade for Giannis. And I know we're getting off topic here because we're talking about last night's game, but imagine the trade package for Giannis. If you have to get rid of Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez, I'm telling you, people are going to be frustrated with Giannis. Like, he's great numbers-wise, and he'll fill up the stat sheet. But when it comes down to crunch time, he's not that guy. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but he hasn't been coached by Eric Spoelstra. He hasn't played for the Miami Heat. He hasn't been part of this organization and this culture. And we know that this organization has a knack for helping players develop their game into something a little bit better. We know that LeBron would have never been LeBron without his stop in Miami. And there's other players that they're absolutely. LeBron would have never learned how to use the post-up game had he not come to Miami. That's a guarantee.
That was Hakeem Olajuwon that taught him that post-up game, though. Not Spoelstra.
Yeah, but he was in Miami when he did it. Who do you think told him to go learn it?
You think it was them that called Hakeem?
Hakeem the Dream?
Yeah. My favorite center of all time, by the way. I think he's so underrated. Well, again, that's we can have a whole another show about the Giannis trade because I think that although you get him, he doesn't make this team a contender, at least not this year. So you were talking about players being developing under the Heat and being better. Gets me to Bam Adebayo. Bam is having a rough go, a really rough go, and you expect. I think everybody's come to the realization, right? He's not the superstar. He's an all-star. He's the best defender in the world. Everybody wants to keep him on the team. But you expect him to get 18 to 20 points. He's not even getting us that. Like, over the last couple of games, it's like 14, 12. I know in the Celtics game, he had like 17 rebounds yesterday. He had 14 and 9. When you look at Khalil Ware, Bam has 14, Khalil Ware has 28. Bam has 9 rebounds, Khalil Ware has 19. Like, he's doubling him up, and I understand very small sample size. I'm just talking about the weekend, so I get it, right? But we need Bam to step up. I don't know if we have to go back to the pick and roll because he's a good roller, but it's looking not great right now for Bam, and I'm not sure what it's going to take to improve. He was 0-50 from 3. He's relying on that mid shot, the midi a lot again. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Bam, and it's starting to become concerning for me, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that Khalil Ware has been playing so good is really it comes to the fact that when the Heat are playing these other teams, they're doubling and they're coming off and trying to double Bam or double Andrew or double Norman off of that handoff or off of that action that they do. And Khalil Ware is getting open. They're sacking off of Khalil Ware. They're leaving him open. They're daring him to shoot that 3-pointer, and he's making that 3-pointer. 5 of 7 from 3 yesterday. Obviously, Danny, if he doesn't make 5, if he makes only 2 of those, you're only talking about a 19-19 night, which is fantastic. But in terms of offensively, Danny, I just think that he's just a little bit more open. He's getting some of those putbacks. And look, ever since he got that call from you, that text from Haslam, we talked about it. We've talked about it many times here on Battered Heat Fans. Ever since he got that text, he's been an absolute, just a savage underneath the basket, grabbing boards, And last night was no different, right? Again, against a Knicks team who historically this season has out rebounded the Heat. I mean, the Heat absolutely killed them on the glass yesterday, and you would have expected them to come away with a dub after beating him on the glass. So crazy how much they did. They beat him 45-36 on the glass. That's 9 rebounds more. You would expect the Heat to have won that game, but unfortunately, like you said, they have a superstar. We don't, and in today's NBA, that makes a big difference.
And if I tell you, Karl Anthony Towns plays 30 minutes, only scores 2 points. You say
we're going to win by 30.
Yeah, he got to win, right? Because I understand Jalen Brunson's a superstar, but that's a duo right there. As much, even though Karl Anthony Towns is soft as hell, he's still a great offensive player. And you know what? And those are the underrated things that Bam does that don't come up on the stat sheet. So obviously, but we missed an opportunity there because Karl Anthony Towns isn't going to have many games where he only scores 2 points. And then Andrew Wiggins, not the best.
Who was covering him, Danny? Who was covering him?
Bam.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That Bam does a lot of things that don't show up on the stat sheet. Like, so that he's the best defender in the world, man. And I'm gonna keep saying it. But I don't know how many teams are gonna win a championship with the best defender in the world, but no superstar on the offensive end. You know, and
that's
and
crazy,
that's
right? That's crazy to say. I don't know how many games or how many championships this team can win with the best defender in the world. That's just an absolute outlandish statement, and it's so true.
Because I was about to say, well, how many have they won, right? Because it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate truth. He needs somebody that can go out there. You know what he needs? You know what would have been great on this team? Hypothetically, a game like last night, if they would have had Kevin Durant wins that game for them last night. But they didn't want to trade Khalil Ware. And I still think I would have done it. But man, if Khalil Ware keeps playing the way he's been playing the last couple weekends, the last couple games, then maybe they were right. But for at least for right now, 2025, 2026, Kevin Durant wins him this game. He wins him the Boston Celtics game. And this would have been a different team if they would have had Bam with KD closing out games. Because let me tell you something. Kevin Durant, I was like 36, 37, 38, however old he is, he could still win you a game right now.
He can win you multiple games, Danny, not just one. I mean, this guy, I mean, you talk about a bucket. This guy is almost 7 feet, and he can just get above almost anybody in the NBA and get that bucket. So obviously, I mean, KD would have been fantastic for this team. But you know, hindsight is 2020, right?
Yeah. It's pointless to even bring that up anymore. Fontecchio, I think the Pell Larson injury, the biggest thing that's come out of it is that we've had to see more Fontecchio. Like and subscribe. We've had to see more Fontecchio, and it's been really frustrating. Unfortunately, he's definitely not who we thought he was, Denny Green. And I am not. He has to get luckily, Casper is getting some of his minutes now because he's been a rough go. Also, once Tyler Hero comes back, Fontecchio isn't seeing the court anymore.
Or Pelle Larsson, right? Once Pelle Larsson come back, that's going to be Fontecchio's minutes.
Was there a timeline with him?
No. It was a high ankle sprain, so I think it was 4 to 6 weeks.
Davion Mitchell, 13 points, 8 assists, 3 turnovers, which I know isn't a lot, but he was giving us this 0-0-0 turnover. Like he was protecting the ball so, and 3 is not that bad. But and then Norman Powell with his normal game, 22, 4 out of 8 from 3. He was the only plus on the plus minus stat. He was the only plus 3 in the entire roster. But look, the positive out of the weekend and out of the last few games, Khalil Ware, the last couple of games, if I were to look it up, 22 points, 12 rebounds, 24 points, 14 rebounds, 28 points, 19 rebounds. 5 threes yesterday. If he can play that dunker spot where he's catching lobs and then also give you the outside shots, he's not going to shoot 50%, but like this guy, you can't bench him anymore. That's it. Like he has to start. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Who do you bench when Tyler Hero comes back?
You know what? I hate to say this, and don't let your son hear me. Davion Mitchell's going to end up on the bench, man.
Can't do it.
I'm telling you. He hasn't dropped off drastically, but I think he has dropped off enough, which again isn't much, right? Because he's still a great defender. He's still protecting the ball. Still, I think Davion Mitchell goes to the bench.
You're nuts, bro. You're nuts. You're nuts. I want people who are watching this to comment. Who do you think goes to the bench when Tyler Hero comes back, and who do you think loses minutes when Pelle Larson comes back? That's what I want to know. That's what I want the fans to respond. So while you're doing that, don't forget to like and subscribe.
When you look at the starting lineup from yesterday, if it were up to me, well, no, you can't take out Andrew Wiggins because then you would be killed size wise.
You'd be
So
super
Andrew,
smooth.
yeah, so Andrew Wiggins has to stay. So at that point, it's either Norman Powell or Davion Mitchell. If Tyler Hero starts, I know you're probably suggesting Tyler Hero comes off the bench. I think Davion Mitchell's going to end up on the bench.
Hope not.
I don't think. Okay, hope is one thing, but I think that's what's going to end up happening.
I'm gonna have to text Bo.
Any final words there, Solana?
Nah, man. Hopefully we can turn this thing around before Christmas. We can get a couple dubs and start the new year off in a winning fashion. It's been an interesting 2025 for the Miami Heat.
It has been interesting. Thank God they got off to a hot start because right now would be terrible. Look, we said 10-10 by the end of November, so we were thinking 500 ball. We're still a little over 500, so we're not too far off of where we were hoping we would be. They just surprised us and made us believe something that wasn't true. But hopefully they could figure things out.
Shystas.
If you're listening on audio, please leave us 5 stars and a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, and we'll be back. What's the next game?
Next game is tonight. No,
it's not tonight. It's
or tomorrow.
Tomorrow
Against
the
Toronto.
Raptors. And Toronto just lost to the Nets, so they're not gonna. Oh man, it's an irrational thought I have, but I like playing against teams after a win rather than after a loss.
I think the Heat have the Raptors, the Hawks, the Pacers,
and
then
the Nuggets. That's how we end the month of December. Yep. Oh boy. All right, so we will be back here.
Hey, 3 winnable games, Danny. 3 winnable games. You could definitely beat Toronto. You should definitely beat Atlanta, who's a debacle right now, and the Pacers. Absolutely.
I thought the Hawks were playing well.
No, man, no. And you should definitely beat the Indiana Pacers, who have no Halliburton, no Miles Turner anymore. Those are 3 winnable games. We should be talking about the Heat 18-14 going into that Nuggets game.
And I sure hope you're right, man, because that would be a nice way to end the year. And then just so you know, the last 10 games, the Hawks are 3-7. So they're looking at us that are 2-8 and probably saying like, "Yo, this is our get right game." Also, all right. So we'll be back after the Raptors game the next morning. So look out for that show. So until the next one, have a good one.